For a long time now, a lot of players have argued in favor of the introduction of more competitive game modes in Overwatch. And you know, we can see Blizzard try again. We got leaderboards for Junkenstein's Revenge, competitive Lucio Ball, and now Capture the Flag has also gotten a competitive version in the arcade. And that's great. To many it's a lot of fun to play, but unfortunately it's only sticking around for a very short amount of time. And I'm sad to say that there's good reason for that. Today, my friends, I want to bring back the discussion surrounding the introduction of more competitive game modes in Overwatch. The pros, the cons, and some speculation surrounding what Blizzard might do in the future. So to kick the discussion off, why don't we start with the cons? Why is competitive CTF only sticking around for the duration of the event if so many players are enjoying it? Blizzard wants to make sure that the game mode does not overstay its welcome, meaning it's being introduced, we get to enjoy it, and then it disappears before we can get bored of it, and maybe also before we can find too many flaws and get frustrated. That keeps us excited for it to return next year, and it makes sure that we have the uttermost positive idea of that game mode and the event that accompanies it. What's different this time around, however, is that Blizzard has put some very solid work into it. Unlike Junkenstein's Revenge and Lucio Ball, the reintroduction of CTF comes not only with a competitive label slapped onto it, but a significant redesign of the game mode together with a map specifically dedicated to it. It is very likely that CTF will stick around in the arcade more frequently this year if their numbers can confirm that players react more positively to the changes, which simply means that more players are engaging with it for a longer time. And it might also reinvigorate the idea of introducing more different competitive game modes. If you remember, the Uprising event happened because we, the player base, reacted so positively to the introduction of Junkenstein's Revenge. Or, well, more specifically, the game mode that accompanies this event happened because of it. It was a test run for them to figure out how we would respond to the idea of PvE content in an otherwise completely PvP dedicated game. So I wouldn't put it past them to use competitive CTF to grab some numbers and figure out how much we actually care about the competition and the introduction of more game modes that further it. To my knowledge, competitive Lucio Ball was not the most popular game mode, which I dare attribute to the fact that barely anything changed, leaving it largely flawed and very unenjoyable to many players. While every game mode will draw in a core community of players who are really into it, fact is that Lucio Ball needed more changes than it was given to appeal to the mainstream. But as we can see, the idea of more competitive game modes has not been eradicated entirely, because now CTF has seen significant enough changes for players to engage with it in a much more dedicated fashion. All of that is just saying that there's a chance for them to introduce more game modes like that one. But what are the arguments in favor of it? Well, there sure are a few. For one, players have argued for a long time already, and the developers have also acknowledged the fact that too many people are engaging with competitive play solely for the very reason that they want to acquire ranked specific cosmetics. And that is a big problem. For a game mode to be truly competitive, you need players who are invested in it, and it's not like we're lacking that by any means. But fact is that there is not enough that differentiates casual from competitive play in the traditional game mode to deter players who don't care for the competition. Quick play and ranked are virtually the same thing, and it shows. Many players engage in it without any desire to be truly competitive. The increased time investment versus quick play is minimal, and other than that, there really is not anything stopping them. Anti-competitive behavior is running rampant on our traditional ladder for many reasons, but one such reason could possibly be alleviated or at least improved if players could engage in other game modes to obtain those ranked specific cosmetics. And that is not the only argument in favor of it. If you compare our traditional ladder to competitive CTF, you will probably figure that it feels a lot like a diet version of ranked. Coordination is still very important, but it is much more condensed. The match duration is significantly shorter, the maps are smaller, and competitive CTF favors many different heroes that our traditional ladder doesn't. Heroes like Symmetra and Torbjorn in high-level CTF might also not be amazing picks, but they are widely more accepted than in the original ranked mode. CTF also condenses ranked strategies that allow players to practice death ball type compositions in a game mode that does not affect their competitive rating on ladder. And if nothing else, it's a bit of a breath of fresh air to ladder players who are tired of dealing with the usual BS and look to deal with a different set of BS. Reality is that you will never be able to please everyone with any type of meta on our traditional ladder, especially those who despise belies the idea of meta play period. But if we had a variety of ranked game modes to adhere to different playstyles, different heroes, and different mindsets, we might be able to create better experiences for everyone. Competitive FFA would probably never be balanced, but I guarantee that a lot of players would still dig it. Same goes for competitive 1v1 and 3v3. Players who are looking for more elimination focused game modes, players who don't want to deal with teamwork issues at all, and players who just want to see how far their squad can get in a more condensed type of competitive game mode. We could alleviate ranked burnout by offering different game modes. We could support different playstyles that might be considered anti-competitive on our traditional ladder, and we would offer more ways of earning cosmetics. Cosmetics, mind you, that most high elo players who are truly dedicated competitive players don't care about anymore because they got all the golden weapons they want anyway. And those that lower ranked players are struggling to get because of the limited amount of points they can acquire per season. A huge bonus to spin-off type competitive modes is that they can tune them specifically without affecting the overall balance of the game. They showed us going from last year to this one that they are willing to change their stance on the matter. Where initially they said they wanted to keep it Overwatch and allow us to use all the abilities that we know and love, they acknowledged that to make this game mode more fun, changes needed to be considered. Disabling and tweaking abilities to make a separate game mode more fun, to me, should be natural. Different game modes require different rule sets, that's just how it is. Obviously, resource allocation could become an issue. There are only so many developers on their team, and dedicating them to spin-off competitive game modes might take away from the core Overwatch experience. But there are shortcuts that I believe they should consider, and some that they shouldn't. For example, they gave us limited versions of the maps that we already know to play in FFA, but those, more often than not, feel awful to play on. Instead, they should consider to recycle assets, use what's already there to create something new that's tuned specifically for those game modes rather than creating something new entirely from scratch. Consider temporarily disabling heroes for competitive play if a balance patch accidentally breaks them for this mode specifically. Start taking pages from other Blizzard games and encourage players to participate in different game modes during bonus events. World of Warcraft has a weekly rotation that encourages players to participate in different types of PvP and PvE content, awarding them with bonus loot of some sort. Now, I'm obviously not saying that this would fix all of our issues on ladder. We still need to tighten up on the rule sets and encourage competitive behavior and playstyles, but I firmly believe that this would be a step in the right direction. At the end of the day, all I can do is hope that they would explore the possibility of all the things we discussed today. And who knows, maybe through the grace of some deities, someone at Blizzard might even see this video and consider it. Sure enough, I would not even be surprised if they already considered all of this internally without any external input. As much as I want for these things to become reality, I do not believe that they will do it for no other reason than solely for a lack of resources that they can dedicate to it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the introduction of more competitive game modes in Overwatch. If you want to join the discussion, then feel free to do so down in the comment section below. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you all next time.